Ah yes, it's November. That means the gato fishes have stopped gatoing and it's now time to hunt the big fish of death. So we're here on the Sugar at Dayton, and I've done a couple of videos here before, but I don't really fish for fish of death during the summer for specific reasons, mainly because there's other fish to catch. And it's not good for fish of death to be fished during the winter, but now we're here and we're gonna try to catch some big fish of death in this 40-degree weather. I got 2 hot dogs out there and I'm gonna toss the big golden spoon because it's been very effective for me catching pike here. But either way, I don't fish for pike or muskie in the warmer months, and I'm going to tell you why. There are 3 major factors for fish survival after you release them. Number 1 is where you hook them. If they're deep hooked, they're much more likely to die, and I think that's self-explanatory. Number 2 is amount of time out of water. Now, that's more true for fish like pike, muskie, bass, and walleye because they're not air-breathing fish. Fish like catfish, bowfin, and carp are air breathing. They can survive a lot longer out of water. And number 3 is how long you fought them and what the temperature is, water temperature is, when you actually catch them in. Pike and muskie are cold water fish. They prefer water temperatures of lower or mid 60s. After it gets above mid 60s, the buildup of lactic acid is a lot more severe on them and it occurs a lot faster. I also generally use 20 or 30 pound braid with a 50-pound leader while fishing for pike and muskie. And that is also because I don't want to play them around too much. Once the temperature gets above mid 60s, like I said, they don't feel as comfortable, and when they fight and exert themselves over a longer period of time, the lactic acid builds a lot faster and that can easily paralyze and kill a fish. So they're much less likely to survive release in temperatures if you catch them in waters and you fight them for a long time and temperatures out of that. So for pike and muskie, you should use fairly heavy tackle, fairly heavy string, fairly heavy gear, and you should try not to target them when the water is too warm. Now for pike, I target them on year-round waters like the Wisconsin, the rock, and the crawfish from November until early or mid-May. For muskies, basically November, December, and early to mid-May after the season opens. A little bit of knowledge about that to keep the fish alive. I know most people make a big deal out of the fish slime. I'm sure that does play a factor, but it's not nearly as important as the other 3 I mentioned. And there's actually no real scientific study studying handling and the fish, how much fish slime that actually removes. It's more of hearsay knowledge passed down by anglers. And also a lot of anglers make a big deal about using a fishing mat. In the thousands of anglers I've actually met, I have never seen one person in Wisconsin using a fishing mat. I threw in the deep pool near shore and I think I got one. I got something and it's swimming. Pretty sure it's a big fish of death. It could be a stick. Oh nope, it's a fish of death. And it's a fairly large one. It's a decent sized fish of death. Oh, you see that fish of death right there? It's not like a 40-inch monster like my friend caught, but it is indeed a fish of death. It's in the deeper pool here. So definitely very cool, very deadly fish of death. All right, 20-pound braid, 50-pound leader. It's not going anywhere, but definitely a fish of death. Oh, wow. That was fast. Knew it was there. The spoon hit immediately. Maybe I should just throw closer to the shore because I think they are closer to shore now. All right, fish of death. Here we go. I would say it's a good 25-incher. It's not a huge one. Definitely not a huge one, but we'll take it. We'll take it. Fish of death. Not the biggest one I've caught, but one of the bigger ones I've caught, I guess. It's a good 20, 22, 20, well, say it's almost 30, but probably in the upper 20s. Fish of death. Come here, fish of death. Easy catch, easy catch. Upper 20-inch pike. Upper 20-inch pike. Very, very nice. Now we're gonna let it go. All right, it's a good fish of death. All right, now let this guy go. Revive it in the shallow water over there. Oh, there it goes, there it goes. Swam right off. I was putting it into the shallower water and it flipped in the water itself. Very nice fish. Well, it's always nice to see a fish kind of jump out of your hand and into the water because that means they're pretty lively, and that one just swam right off. So that's nice. There's 2 ways to actually hold pike. For smaller pike, it's better to actually hold them. One at the tail and then one right below the pec fins. So that's the way I held it there. For the bigger pike, you use the gill plate hold. Switch up to a fish bait. just because I know there's some smallies here, and don't mind catching a smallmouth bass or two. I haven't caught a decent bass in a while, but I do know there are smallies here, and I wouldn't mind catching a few. Got another one. They're all near shore. They're not very big though. That one, I hope that one did not just inhale it. It's really hard for me to, oh geez, this one's fighting hard. This one's fighting pretty hard. I think I need to tighten, oh no. All right, gotta tighten it a little bit, I guess. All right, hit my fish lure. The other one did actually hit my other lure. Oh, this one, I think this one inhaled it. It's not good. That is not good. So I don't like using this particular one. This one's actually a little smaller than the other one. This one is a little bit smaller than the other one, thankfully. How do I get it? All right, let me just get it over here in the deeper water so I can actually get my net so I can get it. But it's another pike, another fish of death. Another big fish of death. All right, get it off that shallower water. Hopefully I can just walk it around. Have it cool. There we go. There we go. Over here in the deeper water so I can get my net and land it. There you go. That's probably another 25 incher or so. Another 25 incher. I think I'm gonna go back to the spoon. Them inhaling this this bait is generally not good because I have a hard time getting it out if they inhale it. And these are small pikes, so their mouths don't open that wide. There we go. Another nice pike. Another nice fish of death. A little bit smaller than the first one. All right, I'm not actually going to get this one on the big camera because this fish took me a little bit while longer to unhook. Just gonna put it back in the water and hopefully, yep, there it goes. It swims off. It's also a little bit deeper hooked. There it goes, there it goes. Hopefully it does okay. Just swam off into the depth right there. We're back again. A couple of degrees cooler today, but no wind, so it doesn't feel as cold. But I actually bought some worms today. We're gonna throw a couple of worms, and of course we're gonna fish for the big fish of death. I want some variety, so maybe we'll catch some suckers or carp as well. Maybe there's even a gato fish here, although I doubt it. Also, I've done several videos at this particular spot, and people are wondering, why isn't the spot burned? Well, spot burning around here, at least what I've noticed, is not really nearly as common as it seems. It's not really that much of a problem. I don't think I've ever had any trouble with any of my spots. I can pretty much always get them because there's not that many people who go, even people who watch the videos, they mainly just watch them for entertainment maybe. And no one's gonna travel like more than 10-20 minutes to get to a pike or / bass spot because they're literally in every body of water in Wisconsin. So spot burning I don't think is as much of a thing as most people think. I think the only real problem I've seen with it is with ice fishing on panfish, and even that's pretty rare. Don't really know why people go far distances for panfish because I feel like they're everywhere. Crappie and perch, a little harder to find, but bluegills of like 7-8 inches are pretty much everywhere, and I don't think I would ever drive more than 10 or 20 minutes if I was just really fishing for food. I just like to explore. Pretty sure I got one here. Pretty sure this is a sucker or a carp. I don't know really which one. They're both around here. But, oh, it's a sucker. It's a small one too. I'm almost wanting to just hook this on for a big fish of death, but it's still like a good 11-12 incher. So I don't have a quick strike rig, so I can't really use it. But if I catch like a 5 incher, it's going on. Either way, nice little sucker here. Silver red horse, I believe. Silver red horse. Caught a lot of these around here. One of the main ones around here, silver red horse. I think I'm gonna switch up to a smaller hook and a smaller piece of worm to see if I can catch a smaller red horse. All right, red horse. Hope you get eaten by a big fish of death. There you go, red horse. I tossed out a much smaller bait, much smaller piece of worm. If there's like any 3-inch suckers, I want them, because I will toss them out as bait. Although pike will bite hot dogs, they're much more prone to bite small suckers. We use both. The suckers are much more effective. I just don't feel like buying them for like $3 a pop because it's kind of expensive. I'm not really sure if there's small ones around here. Most of the ones I catch around here are fairly large, more than 8 or 9 inches, which I'm not going to be using as bait. But hopefully one of the northerns bites my lure, because that's actually kind of fun to catch them on the lure as well. Or my hot dog, because hot dogs are cheap. No. Oh, got one on the smaller piece of worm. but it's not a smaller fish. I can tell it's not a smaller fish. Don't want it to pop out. I can tell it's not like a 3-inch fish that I'm looking for, but it is another small fish. It's another, this one's a white sucker, I believe. This one looks a little different from the other one. I think it's a white, I'm pretty sure it's a white sucker. Yeah, it's like a white sucker. Still almost about a foot long though, maybe like 11 inches. So not really usable as bait still, but another sucker and a much smaller piece of worm. White sucker. Man, a 40-inch pike would love this, but I don't have a quick strike. All right, sucker. Back in the water you go. Sucker activity seems to be pretty good around here, which means there should be a fish of death around here sometime today. Maybe I just caught 2 of them yesterday and they're not here anymore. But that seems somewhat unlikely because I know there's more than 2 of them here, and plus I let them go, so we'll see what happens. But hopefully there's another fish of death out there that wants to bite. I think I got another sucker. Yep. It's weird that the suckers are active today, but the pike are not. Usually if the suckers are active, the big fish of death are active as well. But it does not seem like the pike are active. This one's very active. This one's a little bigger than the others as well. Oh, come on, fish. Come on, fish. Don't be a spoiled sport. You know, I just want to take a look at you. All right. It's another red horse sucker. Silver red horse. All of them around here are either silver, short face, or white suckers. Don't see any of the other species around here, but a silver red horse. All right, this one's, I think it's a silver, it could be a black. Doesn't really matter. See a red horse. Those were an interesting 2 days. 2 pikes on the first day, 3 suckers on the second day. The second day was probably like 4 or 5, 6 degrees cold in the first day. The water probably cooled down just a bit as well. So a slight change in the temperature, drop in the temperature, definitely had an effect on what fish were biting. I could have just fished out the only 2 pike in that small stretch of river, and I couldn't get anything else on the second day. A lot of suckers around, which means there might be some pike around, but they didn't bite the second day. Either way, I do plan to go back there at other times, probably later during the winter, and because that's one of the spots I actually fished during the winter a lot, that Belleville and a couple other places. But that was kind of fun. That was a good start to fish of death season. Hope you had fun watching this video. Like and subscribe, check out my social media, and I will see you on the next fishing adventure.